This is a narrated PowerPoint presentation on Amplicon Rx. Don't throw that away. Repair your partial profile and get a bigger RFU boost. This next slide is an introduction to our laboratory. We are an independent, privately owned lab in western suburban Chicago. The laboratory is ISO 17025 accredited and is inspected under AABB standards and under the New York Department of Health standards as well. Independent Forensics has developed a family of lateral flow strip tests, RSID semen, RSID saliva, RSID blood, and RSID urine. These are lateral flow strip tests for the screening of evidence. In addition, we have developed a series of stains for sperm from sexual assault evidence, sperm highlighter, which comes in 3 different flavors, the original, Sperm Highlighter Express, which stains in less than 50 minutes, and a version of Sperm Highlighter specifically for laser capture microdissection. This presentation is on our newest method, Amplicon Rx, for the post-PCR amplification of STR kit. What's the problem that we're trying to solve? The problem we're trying to solve is partial DNA profiles. There are several reasons for a partial DNA profile. One could be an insufficient amount of genomic nucleic acid in the amplification reaction. Another might be that the reaction is inhibited, PCR inhibition. Another reason might be that the DNA is damaged. A fourth reason might be mutations at the PCR primer binding site, or that only a small fraction of the original PCR reaction was analyzed by capillary electrophoresis. There are solutions to some of these problems. If there's an insufficient amount of DNA, you can increase the amount of DNA in the amplification, assuming you have enough from your evidence sample. If the PCR reaction is inhibited, you can purify the DNA and reamp, if that's possible. If the DNA is damaged, you might be able to increase the amount of DNA or attempt to repair the damage, although that turns out to be much harder than most people thought. If you have mutations at the primer binding site, you can use another multiplex kit if your lab has validated it. And if you've only analyzed a few percentage of your reaction, you can use all of the PCR reaction by running it through Amplicon Rx, which I'll show you in the next several slides. Just as a reminder on how multiplex PCR reactions are performed in a forensic laboratory, full-size reactions are either 25 or 50 microliters. And from that full-size reaction, between 1 and 1.5 microliters is taken to prepare for capillary electrophoresis. In other words, between 94 and 98% of the reaction has been left behind and is not used. I know of no other analytical technique that discards more than 90% of the analyte. Not gas chromatography, not mass spectrometry, not atomic absorption, not NMR, not ESR. I don't know of any technique that deliberately ignores 90% of the analyte you have spent so much time, effort, and money attempting to make. Amplicon Rx fixes this problem. Let's spend a minute and remind ourselves how the amplified fragments enter the capillary. They enter through electrokinetic injection. That is, charged species enter the capillary under the applied high voltage. The RFU of the amplicons is not strictly linear with injection times. Longer injection times will get you more RFUs, but only to a short point. There's a complex relationship of voltage, current, time, and species in that foramen mix that allows the amplicons to enter the capillary. There's no discussion that the amplicons are competed by salts, unincorporated oligonucleosides, and other inhibitors in the PCR reaction. Amplicon Rx is designed specifically for DNA multiplex STR reactions. It will not work effectively for sequencing reactions. It should only be used for STR reactions used in forensic labs. what does Amplicon Rx do? It increases the RFU signal from the PCR amplicons. How does it do this? It removes the oligonucleotides, the salts, and the bulk of the non-incorporated oligonucleotide PCR primers. And in this way, the entry of amplicons into the capillary is no longer inhibited. What it does not do is it does not amplify, skew, or alter in any way the PCR reaction you have performed. It just allows you to access all of the amplicons you have. The procedure is very straightforward and very efficient. You would mix the PCR reaction with the provided binding buffer and load that onto the spin column. Spin for 3 minutes and discard the run-through. You would then add essentially your standard formamide Liz or your formamide rocks solution. Put that onto the spin column and let it incubate for 5 minutes at room temperature. At the end of the short incubation, centrifuge it again for 2 minutes, and the eluate is now ready for elution directly onto capillary electrophoresis. 3 steps, 10 minutes. Let's take a look at what the results show. The top of your screen shows 2 identifier reactions before Amplicon Rx. You can see the large peak of unincorporated primers on the left of each raw electropherogram, and you can see the size standards in orange. If you look carefully, you can see the small amount of amplicons that are visible in the raw data. These would be partial DNA profiles if analyzed by software. This PCR reaction was then run through Amplicon Rx and reanalyzed on exactly the same capillary electrophoresis instrument using exactly the same conditions. You can instantly see that the amplicon amplitude is significantly higher, and there's even an obvious reduction in the unincorporated oligonucleotides. Most importantly, the RFU amplitude of the amplified fragments is considerably larger after Amplicon Rx. This same experiment was performed with PowerPlex 16, with again the raw data on the top and the post-Amplicon Rx shown on the bottom. The unincorporated oligonucleotide primer peak is smaller, but most importantly, the amplicon peaks are considerably larger. If we analyze these kinds of results using software, it's very easy to show that the peaks missing from the analysis are now visible and identified by the software. You may have to reestablish your stochastic threshold after Amplicon Rx, but your analytical threshold should stay pretty much the same. Here we have shown a number of invisible amplicons are now seen by the software. So, and this is from a mixture to again illustrate that Amplicon Rx will keep the same ratio of mixture you had before, but it will just give you all of your amplified fragments that you were missing before you did it. We have tested Amplicon on applied biosystem kits, Promega kits, YSDR kits, on mixtures, on standards, on full-size reactions, half-size reactions. The observed RFU boost is dependent on the PCR reaction size, but can be greater than 20-fold, depending on the size of the reaction and the specific multiplex that you are using. I can compare the 3 methods that I'm aware of for post-PCR amplification. That is, I'm going to compare Amplicon Rx to the mini-lute or to microcon. Amplicon Rx gives the largest RFU boost of any of the commercial methods. It has the shortest hands-on time and the least number of steps. In addition, after Amplicon Rx, the sample is directly ready for capillary electrophoresis with no further manipulation. It's obviously the most efficient method of the 3 commercially available methods. The acknowledgments I have to give are for Dr. Alex Snelnikov, who developed this technique and whose email is shown. For sales and support, please contact Ms. Dina Matitz, or for other technical information, please send either myself or Alex an email. We'll be happy to help you in any way